The Spoonful of Strength podcast is now the SpoonFull Show. This podcast brings strength, humor, and heart to the chronic illness community. Inspired by the spoon theory, which shows us that even with fewer spoons, we can still live fully. This show highlights real spoony topics and practical insights to help you feel less alone and more empowered. I'm your host, Rachel, and together we'll take on this journey one spoon at a time. Welcome to the first episode of the SpoonFull Show. Today's episode is a Spoonie Chat episode called Too Young to Feel This Old. Have you ever felt like your body is aging faster than you are? That's the reality for many spoonies who have chronic illness. My co-host today is Em, who had a stroke at just 26 years old. She's going to join me in this conversation. Having a progressive disease like MS, my body is aging faster than I'm ready for. This is an important conversation, so let's dive in. Welcome, Em. How are you?
I've been doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Gosh, I'm so happy that you're here today.
I know, it's so nice to be back.
Yeah. It's been a while. I think we recorded your episode, about a year ago?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's at least been a year, right?
Yeah, I think so. Tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of refresh our memories about your story and also how you're doing. Your episode, if you all want to go back and listen to Em's interview, it's episode 47 of the Spoonful of Strength podcast. So tell us a little bit about what's
I'm
been going on.
I'm a young stroke survivor. I'm almost 3 years post-stroke. In November, it'll be 3 years. Not too much has changed, honestly. Summer was great, nice and relaxing, and now I'm just kind of trying to get back into a routine for the fall, back to my physio, and I do adaptive rock climbing. So just trying to get back into routine, which is hard with the motivation piece, but we're getting there.
Yeah. One of the things I loved about when we interviewed you is the rock climbing. I think that's so cool, and I love
I'm still climbing.
Yeah, I love the videos that you put out.
Thank you.
Where you're rock climbing, because I think that's just awesome. But so the topic today is too young to feel this old. So I felt like this was like the perfect topic for you and I, because you're obviously a little bit younger than I am. You're mid-20s. I'm mid-40s.
Or late 20s.
Oh, you're late?
29.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Your stroke was mid-20s.
Yeah, I was 26 when I had my stroke.
That's right.
Yeah, 29 now.
So you're late 20s.
Yes.
I'm 48, so I'm still going to consider that mid-40s.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
But this was something that I wanted to talk about, and I know that you will have some experience in talking about it too. Yes. So when I think you actually are the one that brought this to me. So what are your thoughts about this topic, and what made you kind of throw it out there as something that might be interesting to talk about?
I think for me, because I'm so young and people are not used to seeing younger people with a disability, I feel like they associate disabled with aging. So it's something that I've experienced a lot in public spaces, getting people staring at you. Even like when I park in handicap spots, people give me dirty looks because looking at me, they assume I'm normal. They assume because I look fine, that I am fine.
Right.
So it's something that I experienced a lot being a young disabled person. So I thought it was interesting to talk about and raise a bit of awareness about that for other people.
Yeah. I think it was a good topic. It's something that's been on my mind a lot too, because probably the last year, my mobility has gone down quite a bit to where I'm at right now, I'm not able to stand for long periods of time, like over 2 minutes. I can't go out of my house without my rollator. I can't go grocery shopping. I have to use a scooter, and things like that. And I'm 48, but I can't even imagine how you feel, because I
Hmm.
feel the looks of like getting in the handicap parking and using my rollator, and I
Yeah,
still drive right now,
right.
um, but just that insecure feeling of feeling like, I always say my body feels like it's 80,
Yeah,
and I get around, my 70-year-old father moves better than I do. And so
exactly. Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
bit of imposter syndrome when we're
yeah,
parking in the handicap because I feel like I'm like, I have the pass, I'm allowed to park here. But based on people's looks that they give me, I feel like I'm not supposed to be parking
yeah,
here.
yeah. Isn't that crazy? I'm
Yeah,
right
just
there
because
with
they
you.
assume, because in the car, from just seeing my face, they assume, oh, she's young, she's healthy, she's perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
But
yeah,
little do they know.
yeah. I remember when I got my placard
Hmm.
for parking, I didn't use it for 6 months because I was like, and this was, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, oh, I don't need it. I'm embarrassed to use it.
Yeah, it's
And
intimidating.
yeah, and it was 6 months before I finally used it. And that, like I said, was years ago, but I still have that feeling sometimes of,
Hmm.
if it's the only handicap parking available, and I'm like, oh, am
Right.
I taking this away
Yeah,
from
I'm like
somebody
afraid to get
who,
out of my car. I'm like, oh, people are
yeah,
gonna see me.
yeah, yeah. With your condition, what are some of the things that you have to deal with on a daily basis, such as pain or mobility, things like that?
So for me, it's more mobility. So I'm left side affected, left side hemi. So my mobility is affected. I'm very slow and my walking is, I can walk unassisted. I have a walking stick when needed. It's just very slow and not graceful, I guess.
Yeah.
And then my main problem is probably my left arm. So I'm very much doing everything one-handed
Okay.
for my mobility, which has been a challenge. And then it's also the brain fatigue.
Mm,
It's another big issue. So yeah, mobility and brain fatigue, I'd say.
yeah. Yeah. I think mine is definitely mobility and stamina
Right.
and pain, and a lot of stiffness. So,
Yeah, yeah, I guess stiffness, but not so much pain.
yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you ever feel like when you get up in the morning, like for me, I'm like hobbling around, like,
Oh yeah, it takes me a hot minute to get up. Like, oh, okay.
yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I think the first 20 minutes I probably look like an 80-year-old, but
Yeah, oh,
you
me
know,
too.
yeah. I want to tell you a story. It's kind of funny because,
Okay.
but this last summer, my family and we went to Tennessee, and of course, being the mother and everything, I
Right.
organized everything,
Of
found a
course.
really nice house for all of us to get into, and I get this house, and it's beautiful, and we got it for a good price, and I'm looking at the pictures, and I see there's a long staircase to the house,
Right.
but there's like you can go in the bottom level, which isn't very many stairs, and so I get this house, and we get there, and I look, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the steps were uneven. I
Oh
mean, there
boy,
was
yeah.
like there had to have been over 50 steps getting up to this house.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden I was like, I mean, I barely got up, but then everybody else had to bring everything
Oh, right,
in. And
yeah. You're
I
like, I
was like,
cannot.
I'm up here, I'm good, but I
Hmm.
can't make any more trips. And
No.
we couldn't even I brought a scooter with me. We couldn't even get the scooter up to charge
Oh
it. And
no.
so we went to this Titanic museum, and I kept telling my husband, I was like, I don't think it's got enough battery. Like, I don't know what we can do, but I don't think it has enough battery. Oh,
Hmm.
no, no, no. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And we get there, and I get on it. I will go about 10 feet, and it
Oh
shuts
no,
off.
it just stops.
And so here I am, and I'm like, okay, well, I've got my whole family with me. I can't walk this museum.
No.
And so all the guilt started flooding in of
Hmm.
like, I don't know if you have this, but where you're
Hmm.
like, I'm holding people back or,
Oh yeah, yeah, slowing them
all of
down.
that.
Yeah.
So they had to take my scooter and they got me a regular wheelchair. And I was like, uh, I felt so bad because I was like,
Hmm.
somebody has to now wheel me around and I can't,
Right.
I don't want
Yeah.
to, and things like that. And it was hard, but I was like, it was almost, funny at the point of here, I get this house and I'm the one that booked it and I'm the
Right.
one
And
with
it's
mobility
the
issues. And
least
it's
accessible
least,
house
oh
ever.
my
Was
gosh, it was horrible.
there
It
at
was
least a
horrible.
railing?
Yes, that I hung
Oh,
on
good.
to for
Okay.
dear life.
Oh,
But
good. Yes,
yes,
I'm sure.
yes, it was not my wisest decision. But um, have you been in instances where you feel like because of your mobility that family and friends like have to make sacrifices?
Oh, for sure. Even just the simple things like going for a walk with
Mm,
family or friends, just I hate being the one that's slowing people down.
yeah.
Or just if I'm walking around at the mall, um, or I tell people literally to walk around me if I'm
Mm,
holding them up because I hate making them wait. So I'm like, just go, like I'll be a minute.
yeah. Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I definitely feel guilty about the whole speed thing. But I've gotten to a point where I think I laugh about it now and like I just embrace the fact that I'm slow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting a turtle tattoo as well,
Oh,
just
that's
for that.
cute.
So
That's a cute
yeah,
idea.
so I've gotten to a point where I'm just like, it is what it is, and
Yeah.
people can wait.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like as the longer you have mobility issues, the easier it is to kind of laugh it off. I spent
Exactly.
many
Yeah.
times like feeling so horrible and here I am, 10 years after diagnosis and I'm just like, well, this is what you get. So,
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm 3 years post, but I'm
Yeah.
getting to a better point where I'm just, it is what it is, and people have to deal with it. So
Yeah. You say that it brings up a interesting thought. You're 3 years out. I'm 10 years
yeah.
out, but
Right.
our mobility is so much different. You went
Hmm.
from being a healthy, active 26-year-old
Right.
immediately next day, next moment
Hmm.
into having a stroke and having these impairments, whereas mine has been more progressing,
Right. Like, right.
you know?
Yeah.
But, and I can imagine that it's probably harder on you with the fact that it was so instantaneous.
It was, yes, I guess, yeah, it was difficult definitely because it was so sudden and unexpected,
Mm-hmm.
going from being so healthy and then the next minute not. Um, but I wouldn't say like in comparison, like I don't think you can compare to
Yeah.
like our mobility issues and because yours is progressing
Yeah.
or yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a comparison really, but it's just different.
It's different. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's been, one of the mental parts of having MS is the fact of, today could be the best I ever feel. Tomorrow, where am I going to
Right.
be in a year? Where am I going to be in 5 years?
Exactly.
And
Yeah, there's that unknown part.
yeah, yeah, that's a hard one. And we talked a little bit about, a little bit of the emotional and the mental side, but did you ever have a point where you had any sort of depression or anything mentally because of the stroke?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the beginning was a lot more difficult. But I think it comes and goes in waves, really.
Yeah.
Some days, I'm feeling better and more myself. And then there are days where I'm more, down in the dumps about my situation. But
Yeah.
I've learned to come out of those slumps a little quicker now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really that comparison of like what your life used to be like,
Hmm.
or what it could be like at this age.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all my peers, in their late 20s now, getting married, buying houses, having children, and I'm not at that point in my life.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
that comparison piece of, well, I should be doing this, but
Mm-hmm.
I was held back a bit.
I think that's an important piece that you talk about, is the comparison between anybody else that's around your age and the things that
Mm-hmm.
you can do or can't do. That can be really hard. Are you looking for merch that speaks to your truth and makes you laugh? Spoonful of Strength has you covered, literally. From t-shirts and hoodies to mugs and magnets, every design is made for the chronic illness community with heart, humor, and a whole lot of strength. Funny? Check. Inspirational? You bet. Illness specific? Absolutely. And the best part? I can personalize any design or create a custom shirt for you for no extra charge. So whether you're laughing through the pain or wearing your diagnosis with pride, our designs are funny, fierce, and illness specific, because being chronically ill doesn't mean being chronically boring. So if you want a sweatshirt that gets you, head to spoonfulofstrength.etsy.com. Now that's spoonful with 2 L's. Use code podcast for 20% off your entire cart. I honestly don't have much of a social life anymore. I don't,
Yeah.
I've given up a lot of things. My family doesn't even invite me to things anymore
Oh no.
because they know that unless it's within like an hour's drive, I'm probably
Right.
not
Yeah,
able
because
to
the
make.
driving is a whole
Yeah. Yeah.
adventure as well.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so, my husband and I were talking just yesterday about, because I checked in with him. I like to check in with him and just see it, as a caregiver, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, I just wish that we could do more things that we used to. And because he was talking about doing something, but he's like, it would be overnight. And he's like, I don't feel safe leaving you overnight because of the dogs and sleeping and all of that. Like, he doesn't feel that it's safe for me to be
Right.
left alone. And I was like, I said, well, you have to talk to me, because I've gotten to the point where I used
Mm-hmm.
to really I used to hate missing things. And it really bothered me, but I would always say, yes, go, go. And now I'm at this
Mm-hmm.
point where I'm like, no, you should absolutely go. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
They like to go to baseball games. Could you imagine me trying to get into a baseball stadium in a scooter and like all the walking and
Exactly.
all of that
Yeah.
stuff? And so I've gotten to the point where I'm like, no, you should absolutely go, like, talk to me about it.
Right.
And the things, he's like, we used to go antique shopping, but I'm afraid you're going to break something in my scooter, because I could be a little
Yeah.
wild. I could be a
Yeah.
little wild. And I'm like, well, we'll figure it out. Let's find a bigger
Mm-hmm.
one or whatever it might be, or use my rollator and I can sit whenever I want,
Yeah.
and things like that. But I see that even from him, of like, he's almost afraid to do things because he thinks I can't do it, or that I will miss being able to do
Right.
it.
How did you did it before?
Yeah.
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 Yes. Trying to find that balance of you want to be included and still do those things, but
Yeah.
then those things are going to be more difficult, more exhausting,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think you're right in what you were saying, that the longer you have it, when you're talking about mental health and things,
Mm-hmm.
the easier you get to accept it. I went through depression and
Yeah, it ebbs
everything,
and
and
flows.
it does, but it
Mm-hmm.
seems to be like the waves get a little calmer the
Yeah,
longer
for sure.
you're
Mm-hmm.
there. Yeah, I think so too.
So I experience a lot because because I am young. People assume looking at me, oh, she's fine, she's young, she's healthy, and they don't assume that I have a disability. So I actually have a story. This summer, I went to a concert in Toronto where I requested accessibility services. So I got a transfer chair to exit the venue at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to walk into the venue, but thought it'd be too much for afterwards. So I requested a transfer chair. No problem. I've used this a couple years ago and no issues. So the first issue is that they were 45 minutes late to pick me up, which in retrospect to the whole situation, not a big deal. They eventually came, and it was fine. But then they dropped me off at a spot where I assumed I would be able to be picked up. The guy just kind of left me there, took the chair, not really ensuring that that was the right spot, which it was not. So my friend goes to the nearest security guard to ask for another transfer chair because we think, okay, we have to walk elsewhere to be picked up. And it's going to be a lot of walking. So let's get a transfer chair again because the other guy had left. So she goes over to talk to him. And I see him kind of looking over at me and pointing. We're about 20 meters away, maybe. And according to my friend, so he kept looking at me and being like, oh, she's standing up. She's fine. She looks fine. Assuming that because I can stand, because, I look fine, I must not have a disability. So she had a few words for him.
I bet.
And then his only option to help was that he offered my friend a folding plastic chair for her to carry me in.
No.
Yeah, so she was like, are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
So she was like, absolutely not. I'm not carrying my friend in a plastic folded chair. So long story short, we ended up having to walk further to where my sister was able to finally pick me up. So it all worked out in the end. And luckily, because I am technically able to walk, it's just difficult with distance and balance and whatnot. But the principle of it all is the main thing, and that if it was someone who was not able to walk or have different mobility issues, just the idea of, oh, she's standing, she's fine.
Oh my gosh. It's just people have no idea, even if you can walk, that the amount of energy it takes, or for people who have balance issues, if they trip and fall because it's gravel or whatever,
exactly,
should be nobody else's concern.
You can't just assume, looking at someone.
That's crazy.
So now it's a running joke in my family. I'm like, oh, I look fine, I'm fine, no disability.
Yeah. Just grab a plastic chair.
Exactly.
And
just carry me in this chair. I'll be fine.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So wild story at a concert, but
oh my gosh. That's crazy. Yeah. I didn't, when you had texted me that, I was like, I didn't realize you were saying that she was supposed to carry you. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was like, that was his only option. Otherwise, he was like, that's all I can do. Like, go find someone else to help you, basically. He's like, that's all I have. I have this folding chair that he had with him to sit on for when he got tired. Yeah, he's like, here, you can use this to carry her.
Yeah.
No, thank you, sir. Yeah, I just find it's not very, people aren't aware.
I find nowadays a lot of people don't have some kindness sometimes. And nowadays, I feel like people just say whatever they feel and assume the worst versus assuming. I'm lucky I haven't been spoke to like that or said, or haven't had that said to me. Have you had any other instances where you just hear the chatter?
Not directly. Like, I mean, there have been a few times, or at least the stares. People, they give you looks. Part of that's probably in my head as well because I'm self-conscious. But at the same concert, these other maybe like teenage, early 20s, when I was in the transfer chair, they were kind of directly in front of me walking, and they're just ignorant. My friend was asking them to, be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
And they kind of mocked her and were like, just laughing, like, ha ha, yeah, okay, be aware of your surroundings. Just like that lack of ignorance. Like, come on.
Just cruel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they maybe didn't even realize they were doing it, but
yeah.
Think people. And there's so many different, like, invisible disabilities that you don't see that people have no idea about. Assume just a physical, like, oh, they can't walk or they're in a wheelchair, that's a disability, but nothing else equals disability.
There's a lot of chronic illnesses that mobility isn't necessarily an issue, but maybe fatigue is.
Right, and the cognitive.
And the cognitive, yes, that's actually something you had mentioned earlier, because I have cognitive impairment as well, and it seems to be getting worse too. I mean, I do my grocery shopping, do it delivery. But I do my grocery shopping every week. And every week I will somehow forget to put in certain foods that we need. And there was
Right.
one week that I was like, well, we can have spaghetti, but I forgot to buy meat. We can have steaks, but I forgot to buy baked potatoes for them. We could have this, but I forgot this.
Yeah. So
And
is it
it's
memory
so
that you struggle with
frustrating.
most, like cognitively?
Yeah, the cognitive kind of comes and goes. It's worse when
Hmm.
I'm tired
Yeah.
and things like that. But it's it that's another one that I feel like when it first was kind of getting bad, I would apologize over and over and over and be like,
Hmm.
"Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, why am I making all these mistakes?"
Right.
And even though the cognitive has gotten worse since then, I'm able to kind of laugh it off a little bit more. But it also is like the cognitive issues kind of even make you feel old, that
Yeah. So like, why aren't I remembering things the
yeah,
same way? Or I don't
yeah,
know what I'm talking about half the time.
yeah. I sound like I'm drunk or I sound like
Yeah,
I
exactly. Like we'll see how
can't.
this podcast sounds.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. We did the Spoonful of Strength podcast. Tina and I did an episode where it was completely unedited, and
Oh,
it's
really?
so funny because we were just like, there were a couple times that we were like, what are we saying?
Yeah,
We're not making any sense. But
right.
uh, and even like with my kids, like they're 18 and up. But when they were younger, I would forget they had to, sorry. I would forget like they had a baseball game and needed to eat early. And they're like, where's dinner, mom? And I didn't remember it. Or,
Yeah.
um, I, there were also times that I had to have discussions with my kids if they were when they were younger and they were in school of like, at that point, I was like using a cane,
Hmm.
of being like, or does this embarrass you? Or, to see me having to use a cane or,
Yeah, like how it
thinking
affects your
about their
kid.
feelings.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't had to experience that yet. No kids, but I
Yeah.
think maybe down the line.
Yeah. And of course my kids are like, no, of course, no, mom,
Yeah.
everything's good. But that's even something that I had to deal with. And now they're older and adults. And I
Hmm.
think um, they have a lot of empathy, I think, for
Yeah.
disabled people.
Right. And I think growing up with that, they probably have more, yeah, empathy.
Yeah.
And also the more kids are exposed, I think, to people with disabilities of different kinds, I think that'll be moving forward. I think it'll be a good thing for all
Yeah.
of humanity.
Yeah. I remember sitting in my therapist office again years ago when I was really battling. And I was just crying my eyes out. And I was like, I feel so bad for my kids. Like they don't have a healthy mom and all these things. And my therapist, and I still remember this, he said, don't you understand the gift you're giving them? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
I can't run with them. I can't do all these things. And he's like, you're giving them the gift of empathy, of being able to see somebody who may be struggling or who's different and being able to look at them in a warm and kind way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, like I said, it's something I remember,
Yeah. It
from,
changes your whole perspective.
yeah, it does. It does. Um, so I think as we kind of start to wrap this up,
Mhm.
talking about if somebody out there is in the same shoes where they just feel like their body's like shutting down, they just are frustrated that they can't do the things that they quote unquote should be doing.
Right.
What are some things that you have adjusted in your thinking or even physically to be able to give yourself a little bit of grace?
Yeah. I think it's really important to focus on the things that you can do versus the things that you can't. That's at least my experience. So yes, I can't, go for a run, can't play soccer, things like that. But the things I can do, I've been able to start, adaptive rock climbing and things like that. I know I can walk. So appreciating the things your body does allow you to do and not being hard on yourself for the things you can't. just give yourself grace.
Yeah, that's a
Mm-hmm.
big one. And I would say, from the physical aspect, one of the things that I struggled with was pushing beyond my means
Right.
and still not feeling like I was doing what, as much as somebody else could. But I think just from a physical standpoint, it's really difficult. And I imagine it's difficult at your age too, to be able to set boundaries for yourself of realistically, what can I do? So if you have a wedding that you have coming up, I need to rest up. Maybe I'm not going to go to the reception because that's going to be too late, and things like that, of really loving yourself enough to be able to realistically look at what you can do, what's going to be best for you, and what's not going to put you in bed for the next,
Exactly. Yeah.
days after.
Yeah. Setting those boundaries and being able to not feel guilty about them either.
Yeah.
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 So telling people, no, I'm not able to do this or I need to do it a different way, but
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And 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 trying not to let others around you dictate what that looks like
Right.
for you. And
Because it
and
does take us a lot longer to recover now.
yeah, yeah, it does. And and yeah, it's definitely uh a different body, and getting used to what I can do and what I
Yes,
can't do.
exactly.
That's hard to do. And I think you mentioned it earlier, of using humor, and
Hmm.
you see on our Instagram page, and you see it with a lot of other people, of just using humor to like say, okay, well, this sucks, but I can laugh through it because
Yeah.
me, um, it took a long time, but me looking back and going, I cannot believe that I booked that house
Hmm.
with a million steps. Like, I was devastated when we
Yeah,
were
you have
there,
to
but
laugh at it
now
sometimes.
I look back and go, oh my God. Well, the next time we go on vacation,
Yeah, exactly.
you're double checking before we hit payment. So,
Yeah.
um, what are some ways that you found to like nurture your body, and kind of take care of it?
I think for me, a lot of it is allowing myself to rest and not feel guilty for resting.
Hmm.
Because for me, like so brain injury, resting is healing. Your brain
Hmm.
needs rest to heal. So I think instead of feeling lazy and people, because I don't like people thinking, 'cause right now so I don't work right now.
Hmm.
So it's a hard kind of feeling like people are judging that I'm, just lounging around all day. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I go to my physio, I have my climbing, I do a lot of things, but it's also I need to pace myself and rest. And
Hmm.
resting is part of my recovery journey as well. To
Yeah.
feeling okay that, it's okay to rest more. That's
Yeah.
what you need right now.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think this was such an important topic. I'm not sure why we haven't covered it before, but I think
Yeah.
it was like a good topic for the two of us, especially being at different in different situations and being at different ages. We can still
Hmm.
connect on this topic,
Yeah.
and hopefully bring information and support to those who might be struggling with
Hmm.
mobility.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Honestly, I could
Yeah.
talk forever about this topic.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, wait a second. Let's
Yeah,
do it. Let's do a 2-hour episode.
honestly, yeah. Part two.
Yeah. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think is important, or any words that you would leave with our listeners?
I think for just everyone out there, don't take your health for granted. So don't take, your ability to walk and go to the gym, even just to go to the grocery store. Don't take that for granted because you never know when that can be taken from you. And just to, yeah, nurture and really appreciate what your body can do for you now. And nourish it for the future because again, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's so important. I agree. I agree. You did great. This was fun.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I had fun. Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, I could really talk about it for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we highlighted a lot of good
Yeah.
things, and And yeah, I appreciate it so much. Can you share listeners where they can follow your journey online, social media?
Sure. So my Instagram is M's Stroke of Lightning. That's just a period in between each word. So I share a lot about my stroke recovery journey and just disability awareness in general.
Yeah.
Try and throw some humor in there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really a great Instagram because it
Thank you.
does show, like I said earlier in the rock climbing and things, it really shows how determined and how strong you are. And it gives a lot of hope to other people facing similar
Yeah, and that's what I
situations.
hope it does for people. Just
Yeah.
raise awareness, give people hope,
Yeah.
show my real life.
Yeah. And I do have to say, let me look this up real quick, just that your episode of the Spoonful of Strength podcast, let me look and see here. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I know I told you a couple weeks ago, but your episode, again, that's episode 47 of the Spoonful of Strength. Tina and I talk about grieving your old self, and then we bring Em in for an interview. That's our third highest episode in over 60 episodes.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, all my friends and family watching it over and over again.
oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But it shows what a good story that you have, and I feel like people can relate to you. And it, so go back and listen to episode 47 of the podcast to learn a little bit more about Em. And I can't thank you enough for coming and joining me today.
Thanks for having me again. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. So take care of yourself, and everybody follow Em on Instagram and keep up with her. And we should do this again.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to thank Em for joining me today for this important conversation. For anyone listening who may feel the same way, your story is a reminder that even when our bodies don't cooperate, our strength, courage, and resilience remain. Next week, I'm joined by Brenda Snow, author of the Amazon best-selling book, Diagnosed: The Essential Guide to Navigating the Patient Journey. Her book helps patients and caregivers navigate the ups and downs of life after diagnosis. So until next time, no matter what today looked like, tomorrow brings new spoons. Just take it one day at a time. Take care. Thank you for listening to The Spoonful Show. Follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. Leave a rating, review, and comment. Connect with me on Instagram at Spoonful of Strength and TikTok at spoonful.of.strength. Remember, that's spoonful with 2 L's. Shop customized t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, mugs, and more on our Etsy shop at spoonfulofstrength.etsy.com and use code PODCAST for 20% off your entire cart.